Hi, Kerry here. As you can see, we're back at the beach. It's a kind of a blustery day, overcast, and rained earlier this morning, and we're expecting some rain up until about 3 o'clock. It's actually Christmas Eve, and we're at the beach. This is where my son Trent lives, and we came down for Thanksgiving, and then again we're coming down for Christmas. And some things happened down here that were relative to the stock market that I wanted to share with you because I think it gave me some insight as to what's going to happen in 2023 in 2021. Jumped ahead of myself, but what is going to happen is going to have some far-reaching effects, not only to 2023, but into the rest of your life. So let's talk about that and see if we can learn from it and see if we can work together to take advantage of it.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Griegmeyer.
The first incident occurred, we drove down in the morning and came down to the Watercolors Inn and went to the bar and had a cocktail and some lunch. And as we were sitting there, and we were the only people at the bar, Nita and I, and got in a conversation with the bartender, and he shared with me that his daughter was a student at one of the universities here in Florida, and she was 18 years old, and she was studying in the field of biotech. And I said, really? That's interesting. What exactly is she studying on? And he said, well, I don't really know. She's a very bright young girl. And I said, well, it probably has to do with CRISPR. And he said, what's CRISPR? Well, I explained CRISPR to him, and I explained the ultimate effects of it. And at that point, he reached over and he got one of those coasters, that you set your drinks on, and he turned it over. And he said, how do you spell that? And I gave him the spelling of CRISPR. And as I went into it further, he says, how do I learn more about this? And I told him that he needed to read the book Lifespan. And then he also needed to read the book The Crack in Creation. And he had no idea of what I was talking about. He had no idea what his daughter was going to be studying, I assume. And that drove to me that what you and I have been talking about over the last couple of weeks or months is not recognized by the majority of the people in this world. Now, was the bartender going to be a stock investor? Probably not. Probably not. So later in the afternoon, I met with an old financial planning acquaintance that lives down here, and sat and talked to him about what I was doing, and I told him about YouTube, and he had been somewhat aware of it, but wasn't really a follower. And he said, well, what do you feel about 2021? And I told him that I believe that in order to achieve the returns that we've achieved on the EV market and some of the other tech companies, that we're going to have to spot the companies in biotech that are going to change the way we live. And he said, well, I know that's kind of your theme, but what do you mean the way we live? And I said, well, I think maybe the better way to phrase it would be to change the way we die. And he kind of got a pushback and said, what's that all about? And I said, well, I told him about CRISPR. I told him about the technologies. I told him about the stocks that are basically removing the things from our bodies that kill us, and that how we are going to live to be 125. And he said, well, then what? And then I told him about the company up in Nashville that is cloning pigs or not cloning pigs, but altering the genome of pigs so that their organs are received well by our bodies, and how the replacement parts are going to become a part of the way we live, and that's just the way it's going to be. And again, remember, this guy is a financial advisor, and every day his job is to advise people as to where to put their money to make it grow for their retirement, and to advise them on where to put it so that they have money for when their kids go to college. And he knew nothing about it. He had never heard the word CRISPR, and it's us, he knew nothing about it. So I guess what I came away and said, you and I are in the 2%ers, and that is to say that there's about 2% of the people in the world who know what biotech is going to do to the world and how it's going to affect us, and how, if we get in front of it, much as some of us got in front at some levels of the advancements by electric vehicles and things of that nature, it's going to be changing. We're going to get wealthy. I guess that's the simple statement of it. We're going to get wealthy. Starting to rain again. I need to move a little bit back here to avoid the rain. Okay, I moved into there's a little roof over here, and so I won't get soaking wet. I got a little wet already, and I don't think there's any water on the lens, so we're probably good. So my message to you here on Christmas Day is we got a tremendous opportunity in front of us. We are at the cutting edge of the change in biotech. We're at the cutting edge of, as I did in a video earlier, finding another NEO, finding another stock that's going to give us a 22x increase in a year. I'm already on CRISPR. I think I looked at it. I'm already up, I think, something like 70%. And I've only owned it maybe 60 days. Pacific Biotech, a similar increase. And Edit, another 40, 50, 60% increase. I don't really keep track of it because, for the most part, I'm never going to sell it. It's part of my $25 million challenge that I believe I'm going to have stocks in this field, in this space, that will end up creating $25 million worth of wealth for me. Because again, and it proved it to me, the rest of the world doesn't have a clue. They just do not know what is about to happen. And when you talk to them about it, their eyes glaze over. They aren't interested. And that's truly, I think, the summation of your advantage. You are seeking information. You are seeking to educate yourself at some level. Otherwise, you wouldn't be at YouTube watching talking heads talk about the stock market. If you were on YouTube, you'd be finding how to repair your lawnmower, or maybe enjoying the latest TikTok dancing moves. So you have an advantage. Use that advantage as an introduction into gaining more knowledge so that you can make decisions for yourself. And again, like I told the bartender, you need to read the book Lifespan. You need to read the book Cracking Creation. Then you will have a greater knowledge and have a better chance of finding that company that is going to give you 1,000% return. That's going to be a $3 stock that's going to turn into a $300 or $900 stock. That's what you're looking for. And that really is the essence of the game you're playing. You're not just buying penny stocks because you're seeing them moving. It's like Sherry in Austin said to me, I now own stocks and I know why I own them. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to know why you're buying what you're buying, and then determine what you think the potential in it is, and then reap that benefit. Because again, remember, we have three objectives. One is to make good investment decisions. Two is to keep more of what we make because we understand the tax code. And three is to create family wealth. And our current goal is $25 million. Okay? That's where we're at. That's where we're going in 2021. And if you want to be a part of this tribe that works together for a common goal, those three goals, go to Best of Us Investors, give me your name and your email address, and then I'll send you a link to our Discord, or you can go down into the description and find the link to the Discord. And that's where we meet and we discuss and we share our knowledge at greater depth than what we do here on the videos. So that's my take for, I wasn't going to do a video here on Christmas Day, but that I needed to share that with you because it really warmed my heart to know that I'm a 1%er. And I want you to have a Merry Christmas, and we are going to have a Happy New Year because we're ahead of this game, and we know where we're going, have our goals, when we know how to get there. So Merry Christmas, have a Happy New Year, and I'll be talking to you again soon.